Hey, folks. Welcome to How to Human, the Tinder 101 edition.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
As always, I am joined by my wonderful and intrepid co-host, Brandon Rechtashel. Thank you for being here, my dear.
Thank you for having me.
And then I have a wonderful friend and colleague who I'm so glad that has joined the field of sex therapy and all things related to sexuality. Katrina Knizek. Did I say it right?
It's Knizek. It's okay.
Fuck.
It's a total Minnesota name. I could have done that. That's a Minnesota name.
Very Eastern European.
Yeah. I had a lot of Knudsen friends. Knudsens.
Oh, so the KN. That's
Yes.
that's what tells us. Got it. Okay. Oh, language. Yay, language. So we're going to talk all about Tinder in particular, and Brandon has a treat for you all. It's going to be fun. We're going to have some fun tonight, y'all. And all things on the table. Katrina and I have been in class all day. We're in separate PhD programs, but the end of mine included lots of things about like vulvar cancer and fistulas and crazy images of all of those things. And so I'm a little burnt and on beer number 3.
I'm about to get started and catch up to you. It's been a long day.
So wait. Fistulas to my
not
left
actual
and
fist.
Squirting to my left. This show's getting off already. And I'm in the middle. I'm in a fistula squirting sandwich.
Yes, you are. It's a good look.
My dear.
But I feel like we should introduce anytime. Usually Brandon's drinking coffee by this point, which I don't know how he manages. I just don't understand that at all. But I am drinking Elysian's Contact Haze is what it's
that's
called.
A good one.
But I'm a huge fan. Even in Florida, I'm looking for Elysian. I'm like, oh, I miss you, Elysian. I miss how easy it was to get. But yes, this was in the store, and my husband and I quickly polished off a 6-pack together. So, first things first, I know we got a request from some of the folks that regularly watch our show, which we have regular watchers, Brandon. Can you believe that already? We're in episode 3 and we have regular watchers. That's great. I need to share. I need to share things. I think that's what Brandon's doing. He's doing his job.
We need to share the
sharing the links and things.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
You want that?
I need to pull up YouTube too. But we're going to start off by talking about something that is not sex or mental health related. I mean, kind of mental health related.
Kind of mental health.
in the way of like what you see on said documentary. But also because of distraction, and we need all forms of distraction that we can possibly get at this point in our lives. So we're going to talk Tiger King, and shout out to Teresa, who's one of our regular watchers. Who really wanted us. Oops, sorry. I pulled up the YouTube link and then it just played all of it all at once.
Bloopy bloop.
Erika, too many beers.
Tiger King.
We're going to talk Tiger King. Teresa wanted us to talk about it, so we're going to talk all about it. I have no problem talking about it because so I grew up in rural California. By rural, sometimes when people say rural, they think less than 10,000. I'm talking less than that. I grew up in a town of less than 3,000. My graduating class was 113. Shout out Weaverville, California. So when I was watching Tiger King, I was actually very familiar with who we were seeing. I was very familiar with the rural life and what the kind of things that come up when you live rurally. And I think in some ways I had less judgment about certain things because of just growing up kind of in that environment. But also, just like what I think that's probably why I've loved Letterkenny so much so far. I don't know if you've all seen Letterkenny, Canadian rural problems that are essentially just dramatized. It's amazing. And when I watched Letterkenny, I was like, oh, this is home. This is like home, but Canadian. So that's like kind of like how I see Tiger King. I kind of wanted to give the lens. Like, how did the two of you, when you watched Tiger King, like what's the lens in which you saw this show?
No kakalaki. I was like, am I stuck in the backwoods of North Carolina somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. And then, of course, they had to bring the Myrtle Beach character in. And I was like, okay, yep, we're definitely in southern. Yes, yep, we're there. I mean, it's, and then very southern gay. I mean, I had it pegged right at the beginning, although I didn't have it pegged that he had 3 husbands. That was
That was the plot twist.
Yeah, he was getting it done.
For a guy that likes pussy so much.
I mean, fair. But also like I the other thing that was familiar to me was I have worked with, this comes from the clinical side of me. Because I worked in rural areas when I first started in my career, like the use of substances to keep control of someone is incredibly common when people are kind of in that deep, for lack of a better way to put it. I've had clients who were pretty significantly addicted to methamphetamine, pretty significantly addicted to opiates, and there was usually a supplier, and there was usually somebody doing things for said substance. And when I was watching, especially the young one who accidentally killed himself, I was thinking of that. I say accidentally because I don't know that was necessarily an accident.
Seems like there's a lot of things that happen on this show that might not necessarily be accidents.
Okay, let's just tackle that right out the gate. Okay, Katrina, do you think Carol Baskin killed her husband?
I do, and I think it's also super complicated. I think she was a sex worker. She was in tough times. She met a rich older man, and it turns out he was kind of crappy.
Oh, like, wow! Like
not to condone murder. Not to condone murder.
Fair.
But she's a complicated character, and I've read a couple pieces. Like, are we really giving Carol Baskins a rough go? I'm like, probably. But I think she did it.
You think she did it? That's interesting. So, and the two of you are like, yes, she killed her.
I watched a lot of true crime. Like, I put my CSI cap on. I was like, I'll figure this out. She for sure did it.
She sends crazy lady signals. She sends crazy lady signals. Yes, she sends crazy lady. I mean, if in real life, I met a woman her age with her
flower crown
psychosis. Yeah, I would say crazy lady and might have killed an ex-husband. Yeah, definitely.
You don't think she did, Erika?
So, I am a true crime fan, much like yourself. But before true crime, I've actually worked with people who have murdered people. I've actually worked with people who have committed really, really terrible crimes. And so when I look at things like this, and the documentary in particular doesn't really. So if you go back in those first couple episodes, doesn't really give you a ton of actual evidence. There is some circumstantial, for sure, tons of circumstantial evidence. But when it comes down to it, I mean, this dude could have disappeared off the face of the planet and decided to do that because she was annoying. I tend to bet on more simple explanations for myself. I'm definitely one of those like Occam's razor, like the
you hear hooves, think horse.
Yes, the most simple explanation is more than likely the explanation. It doesn't mean that complex explanations can't happen. It's just that the human race mostly is not smart enough to pull it off.
Just out of curiosity, when there are 100 tigers involved, why is feeding the guy to the tigers a complicated answer? It seems pretty simple to me. Misfeeding once or twice? I mean, you miss feeding once or twice, and they're going to gnaw right through anything that's fed to them.
Anybody who has a cat, anybody who has an actual cat, like just a regular house cat, knows. I do. I know Katrina does.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very cute cat. Like, you know that there's just sometimes that there's just like a human being. You get to the point where you're like, I'm out. I'm done with whatever you were doing. I'm done. So why you would keep a larger creature that has razor blades on their appendages that could turn on you like that, I don't understand.
Why?
Never,
Why?
ever. There's no reason to own a cat that big. There's
No,
no reason.
you can't
much-
snuggle it like you can a house cat. Just and if you really need a big one, there's Maine Coons.
There you go. Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Isn't there a new variety they're having problems with in the UK?
Oh,
It's like twice the size of a house cat, and it goes
yeah, they're
out
like
and
mixed with
murders
ocelots or
domestic
something.
cats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
okay. Y'all need
really
to go on Jeopardy. That's a lot
nasty-
right there.
Yeah, it's a nasty domestic variety that's people have been adopting, and it goes out and kills everyone else's domestic cats. So
This is not related to cats, but I read that they keep garden snails that are like yay big. Apparently,
Holy
there are snails that large, just as a pet.
It's
the
not
thing
snuggly.
you do.
I don't understand.
Not big cat
Right.
related, but big animal and very upsetting to me in the same way as being fed to a tiger.
I mean, are they just keeping the snails for organic lube? What's the deal?
Maybe they're huge.
It's just like slimy. I mean, it's like what is
I feel like there's
Ugh.
probably bacteria on there that's probably like human eating or something. Probably not good for lubricant. Per se.
Flesh-eating snails. Oh God.
Some sort. So, did you all think like what was your point of view when there was that moment when he went into, and I of course have had enough beer that I can't remember his first name. The Tiger King himself.
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic, thank you. Jesus. Whew. Joe Exotic went into a tiger cage and the tiger turned on him and it looked like things were going to go real south real fast. Who was rooting for the tiger?
Oh, hell yes.
Why?
It pulled him by the leg. It was like, listen, we're done here.
Listen.
I don't think I got to that episode yet. I think I haven't watched the whole thing through. I've been
Oh, come on, Brandon. You gotta at least finish it.
3 episodes. I'm gonna finish it. Well, there's more episodes they're creating.
Oh, for real? Is that part of this? Like, we
There's
need to talk about that.
another episode that they're supposed to be working on right now, and then I think they're trying to get a second season on it. But because once he gets pardoned by Trump, I mean.
I think we're done here. Nice to meet you both. Have a great night.
Hey, it's a reality show.
Anything could happen.
I guess if you're, to not go too political too fast, but I guess, kindred spirits, all crimes are on tape.
Hey,
For fuck's sake.
crazier things have happened in the last 3 years. So, I mean,
2020, it's going to be a wild ride.
Do you know what the pardon is going to be?
Mm.
The pardon's going to be Joe Exotic and Roger Stone at the same time. 2 of the craziest people in the entire world at the same time.
Katrina doesn't have words either. No.
I mean, I'm just at a point where it's just so much overload that I have to take it as humor because it's just like
this is so crazy. Yep.
Which is kind of like Tinder. I am so up to here with Tinder.
Look at us. Look at him.
I just have to take it crazy.
Beautiful job. Beautiful job, Brandon. I'm so proud of you right now.
I have to. I mean, the first account I pulled up over here is a bot account. It's a fake account, and they allow these things all over the place.
So we should so the reason Katrina is on this show, Katrina wrote this amazing blog, which I posted it in, and I'll post it in the comments of this stream so that folks can find it.
Thank you.
You just wrote this wonderful Tinder 101 that I was just like, when I read it, I was like, where's this been? I needed this for so long for my clients. And I was like, I immediately messaged Katrina and messaged Brandon. I was like, we need to have this conversation on tape.
We're doing it.
And so I do want to talk a little bit about the blog itself and your suggestions for Tinder 101. And then Brandon, beautifully techie, see, words aren't working because beard number 3 has essentially created a way for us to see him essentially swipe while we are on camera. It's going to be amazing.
And
All
if
of
you
our
switch-
voyeuristic tendencies just coming true.
Oh, we
Switch-
get to watch Brandon Tinder. Oh,
Oh
it's
my
so good.
gosh. Switch over to my screen because I've got her article up as well.
Oh,
Ooh, let's just put it up. And then, Katrina, I want you to walk us through it. I want you to walk us through
Yeah.
Tinder 101. Let's start
Yes.
there. Let's start Tinder 101. You want me to share your screen, Brandon? Are you ready?
Yeah, you can share my screen.
Cool.
I took the porn off.
just
I
for
mean,
now.
just leave it up. Leave the tab. We can follow along. Yeah. So I've noticed with like COVID, we're talking a lot about social distancing, but we're starting to talk about what that distancing is doing for our relationships. And there have been some incredible, like big name scholars in the field writing things, but that's not who I work with. Like I'm like, let's work with people on Tinder. Like, let's get really real about it.
Yes.
And it's also something we just have to consider, COVID or no COVID. Like dating online has rules.
Mhm.
You got to be polite, you got to be ethical, you got to be respectful. So I just whipped up a little bit of how can you set up yourself for success with your profile, with when you're chatting and when you do take it offline and meet in person.
I think that this when I need to just pull it up rather than messing around. One of the things that I was kind of struck by when I was reading it was just this kind of that insistence that you just, I mean, you didn't characterize it as this, but when I was reading it, I was like, there is an insistence here on being polite, on and knowing your manners. and but I laugh and I think sometimes we would think that this is funny, but really I think in this day and age we need direction. We need direction. People need to know like, oh, okay, this is okay. These are the rules of the road. You wrote the rules of the road.
Yeah. I wish I could take credit. I'm definitely like pulling from a lot of other folks and like clinical experience with clients, but it's really simple. And I think we've lost some of the manners with online, especially online dating. I talk about ghosting, pros and cons, but just remembering like there are people on both sides of the screen, treating yourself, acting the way that you want to be seen in the world, and then remembering, oh, that's a person and I need to treat them with some respect. Because whether you just want to hook up or you want to date them, respect should be in the recipe. It should be there.
I think you're hitting on something that online dating and or like social media, regardless of what we're talking about, there is this kind of dehumanization that happens. There is this that when you look at somebody's image, when you're reading their profile, it's like our brain does something. I'm sure that there's probably we just haven't evolved that as far as we would like to think as we've evolved. I can't tell you how many times I've said that to my clients. Our brain is just not as evolved as we think it is.
We're still animals.
We're still animals. We're still engaging these kind of we have an old brain. We have that kind of new brain that can do reason and logic and use evidence. But really, we're still dealing with some of the old evolutionary issues that kind of can separate us from another person. And what you're essentially saying in this article is like, hey, come back to being human, come back to knowing what the rules of the road are. And so when someone wants to take it offline, when somebody does want to take it in person or right now in Zoom, like what is kind of one of those first things they should do? What do you think?
So I actually recommend before you meet in person, like when we're pre and post COVID, that you get a hold of somebody by voice, whether that is Snapchatting, whether that's a phone call, because there's something about chemistry. You don't want to go spend another horrific coffee date that is just mind numbing and awful. If you could just avoid that with a quick like couple Snapchats or watch each other's Instagram stories a few times, bing, bang, boom, you know if you're attracted to that person, if you want to meet them. And I also really advocate for before you meet up, see each other's social media, if it's sharing Spotify, if it's sharing Instagram handles, because the way that we present ourselves online shows a lot about who we are. If I go to I'm not a big drinker, so if I go to somebody's Instagram and they're drinking and partying in every picture, I know that might not be a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that, I'm copping a little bit from Dr. Chris Donahue on that, of reading into like, what are my values? What do I like to do? If you're like, your whole Spotify is Bon Iver and I only listen to like Lizzo, we might have some problems.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean that inference, right? Like that inference from what you can see, like the
Yep.
curation that most people do of their profiles. Like, how do you then connect with a person? And you're kind of arguing like Snapchat, Instagram stories. And I think those are excellent. And I encourage some of my folks too to like jump on FaceTime. Give yourself
Mhm.
that 5 minutes. I actually have somebody who's been on my podcast, Sex Talk with Erika Miley. Dahlia, it's all about kind of like, she's an online dating coach. She does wonderful work, but essentially she had a client who would screen everybody through FaceTime for the first like 5 minutes so that you could get really, like what you said, a sense of who these people are. Brandon, like, what are you thinking as far as like what Katrina's saying in your experience?
Definitely FaceTime, but do not trust that that is what you're going to get. Stay away from Snapchat because they can add filters to it.
Oof.
Be well aware that anyone who has a social media presence, don't trust it, because that they're putting forward what they want you to see.
Yeah.
That's not actually what you're going to get in most
Mm.
Yep.
cases. And especially like if all you're getting is a voice call out of someone, don't even schedule a date. Don't even bother, because likely it's not who you think it is on the other side. You have to take your security first and foremost. There was one where I did a FaceTime with prior to us going out on a date, and when I showed up, I was like, "How the heck did you? How did you know an angle to hide all of that? What is going on here?" And it was not at all, unless it was from a very specific angle, who the other person was on the other side of the camera.
Mhm.
So
I think it's
there,
important. I do think that's important what you're saying. Like that,
yeah.
that and what Katrina had already alluded to. What are your values and are you communicating them? Are you communicating them? And I'm not just talking about text here. I'm not talking about the text that you put on your profile. I'm talking about your images. I'm talking about every piece of how you build your profile. Is it coming from your most deepest held values? And we're not talking about values when it comes to religion. We're talking about the things that you deeply, deeply care about, like loyalty, honesty, friendship, those deeply held things that we truly, that honestly don't change a lot through our development over time. They may change in their detail, but they may not change in their origination. I mean,
And
what do you both think about that?
I think that people assume, especially with hookup culture, that you don't have to be authentic.
Mm,
But that's something I
great.
talk about in the blog as well. You have to be authentic. If you're just looking for hookups, own that, but
Mm.
approach that with a sense of like pride in yourself. Like, okay, I'm gonna offer up who I am and what I want, and whoever's gonna be into that's gonna be into that. But nobody hates. I mean, like as a queer woman on dating websites, I hate nothing more than when I'm chatting with like a woman, and all of a sudden here's the like, "Oh, me and my boyfriend" line. You're like, you couldn't have just been upfront with that. Just be honest.
Yes.
We
Be
have
transparent. Be transparent.
we have a saying about that in the performing profession.
Okay.
It's
Well.
usually they doth protest too much. I've
Mhm.
worked with actors who repeatedly, well, my girlfriend, my fiance, my wife, and it's like, so really, you're interested in guys,
Yeah.
and you're just bringing up the girlfriend or the fiance because you want to look straighter than you really are.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. And I think people often, I mean, this isn't just me off the cuff. I mean, and this is based on not only just, friends, family, this is the hundreds of clients that I've worked with over time. We often will get so set in our own fear. We will get so set in our own. I used to, when I was working in the prison setting, I used to call it our mush pot, just like when you play Duck, Duck, Goose. Like you get so stuck in your own mush pot that it's very difficult to see how much vulnerability and authenticity will get you to where you wanted to go to begin with faster than allowing this veneer of distance between you and a human. So Katrina, I loved what you said about like, if you would just put it out there. If you're looking for hookups, that's cool.
Yeah.
Say it. And then you might, if that's your boundary, because I think that's also what we're talking about here is boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your boundary that you just want to hook up with folks, cool. You might have to say it 27 times because I can't tell you how many times I've heard someone say to another person, well, you say that now. Like they can change that for the other person. Like I can change you. Give me a break.
Well, not happening.
No,
Can
just
I
let
swipe?
people be who they're going to be. I mean,
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with I don't feel that there's anything wrong with hookup culture as long as it's consenting and everybody's on the same page. But don't play the games. We're grown-ups. It's the same thing with ghosting. Like if you're not vibing, just say sorry, not vibing. Like you chatted online for 2 days, who cares? Just be respectful. It's easy.
I'm going
Yes.
to swipe left on this profile because this is a bot profile.
The bot.
Ooh,
She's
I'm
not
really
the bot
excited.
for
This
us.
is a total fake.
Not
So
the bot. Oh, we should define that. What's a bot, Brandon?
it's a fake account. It's set up by a fake account, and this one specifically is trying to get people to go to a Snapchat profile, which is probably either a pimp or sort of porn profile on Snapchat. This is not Lynn. This is just a front for whatever Lisa Luxy is. And you'll notice like there's like nothing in the info.
Oh,
And this
interesting.
picture, this profile will probably show up again if I swipe through about 20, 30 profiles
Interesting.
because
Will you close Katrina's the Chrome just so we can see the earphone a little bigger?
Zoom it in a little bit more.
There we go. No. How
You're
did
like,
I?
that's not what we wanted.
That wasn't what I was trying to do.
Thank you, Tech.
How did I do that? See,
You're looking at Inception.
Yeah, I am, and I can't. There we go. Goodbye. There we go.
Aha.
Ridiculous.
You and your
There we
beautiful
go.
photo,
So right
and
in,
it's your desktop.
right in the
So
middle.
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a bot profile. This is not a real person.
So how do people look out for these? I think this is really important because I think that I think you're right. I am absolutely sure that there are probably bots throughout every social media and throughout every dating website. So how can somebody kind of tell that there is a bot or not?
I mean, look at the wording. Is any woman going to say seeking a charming babe?
I mean,
they'll be worded differently on different websites. Like her is a women specific, and it'll be like, "Do you love long walks on the beach and hot cocoa?" And you're like, "Really?"
You're like,
That's
this
what
sounds
you're
like a
leading with?
Hallmark card.
No.
Is that what we're looking for? Anything that sounds too produced?
And there are no extra pictures. This is the only picture. There's usually only one picture. And sometimes they're scammed off of Instagram or their former profiles that have been taken over by bots. I've seen some complaints online about that.
Well, and let's talk about profile pictures for a second. Because if you're making a profile, do not do your Snapchat puppy dog face. Like,
no.
Put a picture of you with your friends. Put a picture you got done for headshots. Like, put a real photo.
This one's
she's
good.
Cute. She's cute.
I mean, these are model shots. Like this is a bad one. You should never have a picture with the iPhone covering part of your face.
And is this a toilet? Like, is this a bathroom?
That's a bathroom selfie.
That's
that looks like a bathroom.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
another bathroom. That's a gym selfie. There's
so this is a fine gym selfie.
Yeah.
She's cute.
And I mean, that's an opportunity to
Yeah.
show your personality. Are you seriously just covering your face with a phone all the time?
Yeah.
Or do you like she goes to the Fashion Institute of Technology. Show us a project. Like, are you working on something cool? Let people know
Yeah.
what you're passionate about so that they can be passionate about you.
Yeah, but
Beautifully
don't
put.
focus all the way on it. That's why they allow you to tag your Instagram in. I think like someone like her should have uh, put her Instagram in not as an IG link, but actually have signed into her
Linked it.
Instagram and have her work there. I don't think she needed this many pictures. It kind of shows me that she's got 2 to 3 different looks going on,
Mm.
and that concerns me a bit.
She's 19.
Yeah,
Well, I
she's
mean,
19.
she's 19.
Well, but I don't
Nothing against the
age
19-year-olds. I love y'all. But that matters. Like where you are when you're 19 is not where you are when you're 36. It's different.
yeah, and ages are not to be totally trusted on Tinder. So
I mean, fair.
I'm
Or
gonna X
anywhere.
that one because
Or
she
when
looks like she wants too much money. Um,
Jesus.
I mean, it's expensive. FIT is expensive, and the FIT and LIM girls in this town, all they're looking for is someone to pay off their student loans.
Okay, I do
Maybe
not.
holler.
Okay, I do.
No judgment,
What, so
please.
tell me what fit is. FIT. What is fit?
Fashion Institute of Technology. It's
Oh,
part
okay.
of the SUNY system now. It used to be private, I think.
Okay.
It's a SUNY school. It's specifically fashion. LIM is also a fashion school. They do business and the retail side.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
So here we
Good to know.
go. Oh, that's a good example of someone using too many filters on their face because that is smudgy, smudgy, smudgy on the skin tones. And I can tell that she's already used a filter.
Okay. Well, I feel is so let's talk about filters. Are filters common use, or is it common is that part of like the honesty values piece that you're not going to use a filter when you're putting up your dating profile?
I think
Enlighten
there's a
me,
balance.
the
Like,
married one.
I'm gonna filter some of my photos, and like I have some from professional photo shoots I've done because I just look really good.
Mhm.
Is that what I look like most days? No. But it's like if you go through someone's profile and it's like Snapchat over Instagram, like filter over filter over filter, that's an instant no. Male or female, just say like, I don't know what you really look like. And you
Got it.
clearly don't feel comfortable sharing what you look like here. So what
Mm.
other kind of insecurities am I not wanting to put on my plate?
Fair. Okay. So that is a values that it totally does sound like a values issue. Like
Mhm.
it sounds like there's stuff that hasn't been dealt with yet. And to the maybe the keener eye who can see like there's filter over filter over filter, like you're not showing me your true self. So then does that mean that when I try to get to know you, you're not going to show me who you really are?
Right. Like this chick's cute. I would go out with her. She looks like she parties more than I do with all the themed photos, but she goes hiking. She's got a picture of the dog. I'd give
Mhm.
that a yes swipe and see if we started chatting.
Yeah.
So this is a no for me because I don't know that she hikes. You can't see her face.
It's a
Oh,
no for
that's
me.
fair.
She's
And that's
19.
and I'm a photographer. Those are different shoulders than she's showing in her other pictures. So either this is
Ageist, I think.
her today or this is her 2 years ago. This is what she is today. This is a
Mm.
much more accurate body picture for her, and I'm looking at this as a photographer because that arm right there fits this, does not fit this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is party girl. This is clearly from a party. This is her at a different phase. She's showing 2 totally different phases of her life.
Yeah.
And then she gets into 2020 party. So, and this is like, so I think she's got pictures on here from when she was 17 and pictures from when she's 19.
Okay.
Because she looks like she's done the freshman 15, which everyone does.
Everybody. COVID
and
15.
yeah,
COVID
and
25, perhaps.
I don't need that much in my life. So thank you. Oh, and this is just a hot mess. What the heck is that?
What is going on here?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the other pictures? Are there other pictures?
Yeah.
And I think it's important too that if you're setting up your profile, you have to actually put the age range where you realistically want to date. I do not want to date somebody who's 18 because they're 18-year-old girls. Like,
I have
we have
a
nothing
much
in common.
wider age range. There we go. Let's pop that up.
Oh, look
There
at
we go.
him, real time. Adjust his age range. Good work.
Yeah, well, no, I mean it's
Both Katrina and I are like,
no, see, this is what I'm
her
getting
date
in the
is
higher
younger.
age range. This is why I
So
flipped it.
filtered.
So this is
Okay.
not necessarily filtered. This is part of Passport. She's 5,300 miles away. And during COVID, Tinder has decided they're going to let anyone use their passport feature. And so there's a bunch of people trying to get green cards. It's really irritating. I mean, most of the profiles over the age of 26 are women trying to get green cards from American men right now. And it's
That's
a mess.
really, really interesting. That's kind of
Yeah.
like that's something that has kind of fallen
This is
to
one
Tinder.
picture. It's a fake profile probably, and who knows where it's
And I
from.
think that's interesting, like living in small town America. Like, I haven't seen that even on my passport swipes. Like,
Yeah.
they're just the same douche bros that live everywhere.
Mm.
But I'd
Oh, that's
also wonder about like setting
cute,
it as
cute.
like women interested in men or versus men interested in men, vice
Oh,
versa.
cute. Okay, wait. The dog picture was cute. And I am always like wanting to look at curly haired people. So that's
Yeah,
my
I love
bias.
curly hair, and the mask makes me, think creativity. I think she's got too many emojis and not enough words.
But a nice bottom.
I agree. Like, the emoji thing is cute, but that also says something about what she's looking for. Like, she's there for fun. She's here to hang out. She's not here to date.
Yeah. Trouble.
Beautiful though. I have to say.
The thing with filters is that anyone can be beautiful now. And you have to look past the filters. This person's sweet. She's actually got a lot of pictures that are more probably realistically her. Like, that is a fantastic picture.
Yeah. It looks like a friend took that picture, maybe.
Yeah. And that could be taken with a cell phone. I mean, it
Yes.
could be taken with a real camera, but it's not like the whole background is blurred out and everything. That could be cell phone. That's good. I mean, this is as far as anyone should go with filtering stuff.
So we're in favor of what Millennia?
Melena, you can give me a call anytime. You look lovely. I like that swing. Let's hang out.
Yeah. And she's studying biomedicina. She's Brazilian American. Yeah. Here to meet new people.
Doctor, come on.
Seems to be smart. Yeah. Here we go. Into real
Hey, Rebecca.
Rebecca looks like a regular gal. These filters are not doing her any justice.
No.
No,
don't filter.
Yeah, don't filter. Give us you.
Need the face. These are really weird warping. Teacher in a daycare, no summers off. She's got kids.
And a teacher. Bless your whole life right now. Probably missing getting to see all of the kids that you normally get to see.
And she's elementary or pre-K.
Oh,
I'm a big fan of, if you have striking facial features, own them. Don't filter it.
Look at those blue eyes. Honestly, like, I would love to see them just without that filter. Yeah,
I think she's controlling for something else, and I'm not sure what it is. She's hiding something, and that's what it gets down to, is that these pictures show she's hiding something, and that's where I'm like, that's trouble. There's something, and that's trouble right there. I'm not even
I was gonna say instant no.
Not even.
So bot is so tell us why it's an instant no.
So that was an instant no, because that's just going to cost too much. I can bring it back, actually. I can thank you for Tinder Gold, but that is probably a bot profile, actually.
Yeah, single picture, one Snapchat.
Yeah. So no, that just, it looks too expensive. It looks like it's from Ukraine, and I'm going to be buying breast implants in 10 years and new lips in 5, and God help
Baby
me.
Ivanka.
Baby Ivanka.
Who knows? Okay, here we got a real person, but she's hiding her face.
Why is she?
That's not a real person.
You don't think that's a real person?
I don't.
No,
Okay.
That's a real person. I see each day as a gift. There's no IG or Snapchat links. This is likely a real person. They just are not very focused in what they're trying to achieve.
Even with the flower crown, that's not like That's not a dead giveaway for fake.
No, if it was more pictures like this, if it was like 3 shots of this and maybe
Okay.
a half shot of a face, I'd say that's definitely like a human trafficking account.
Mm.
But this seems to be a real person. It's just her. So the problem with Tinder is that you can end up with a picture being popular and getting automated to the front.
Okay.
So this might be a picture that a lot of guys land on and stay on, and so it's automated to the front.
Interesting. Even though it's the back of someone's damn head.
Yeah, I know. And she, she's trying to show that she likes the beach and she's fun and she can be a little sexy and play girlfriend and apparently celebrates Christmas. Where I am from, you wear a lot more clothes than that at Christmas time. Trust me. You're in your long johns. There's nothing. Well, there can be things sexy about
I was
long
gonna
johns.
say you did the matchy jammy Christmas jammies.
Yeah, it makes me think that she's extremely skinny, and it's the only shot she's got where the butt worked out perfectly.
Oh, fair. Okay.
Yeah, but that's I'm not. Yeah. Anyways, okay. No. Yeah, that again, this is a bot account. Love Fair Next Snapchat. So many of these.
Just so the thing that would make me the married person know that this is a bot account is that there's so much space between the armpits. So to me, that tells me that there's probably some editing that has been done in a way that is not necessarily a human editing it, if that makes sense.
I can't zoom in on that one, but I'm seeing it tucking underneath the H, which leads me to believe that the picture of whoever they are using is extremely well endowed, like double D, and that's why it's pulling in under those shoulders. But you're right. I mean, I'm just looking at the lips and saying that's going to cost a lot of money.
Like, what am I looking at? What was the last one? That one. What is that?
It's like some kind of nightclub. Look how blue I am.
She's 3,500 miles away, so she's passporting. Probably from Brazil.
I like that pool. See, that's what I see when I'm looking at.
It just makes me want to go on vacation.
I want to go into the pool. Can I get in the pool
Can I get a real account?
Maybe that one. The one that was just like sideways and laying down.
Any woman that can laugh about the Slavic squat.
I'm on board.
And that is likely her Instagram, and that is actually likely her.
Cute.
Yeah. And that's, you really, like, if you're an artist and you do want to showcase your work, that's why Instagram is such a better place to do it. Because if it's tagged into your dating profile like this, I can swipe through like 6 to 9, even more different pictures.
So see your work, only even because this is my husband saying this. Putting it up.
Now they did close the loophole. They originally, when you pulled up the Instagram account, it actually said what the Instagram handle was, and it doesn't do that anymore. But what it does do is it shows me that this post was posted 12 weeks ago. So if it's an account that's not active anymore, I mean, show me the sexy goods. It's Tinder, folks.
Yep. And then you're welcome. That is the best. Thank you, husband.
It really, like, there are so few that do show the sexy goods. I think they actually, I mean, here you go. There's a kind of,
there's a little bit of leg.
That's pretty. Okay. I'm on board. I'm on board for that entire picture.
She's pretty. And she's,
that red's nice on her too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
She's real. She's got, well, I mean, she's got a very Slavic face structure. It's real. She's not trying to hide it. So,
yes, and very pretty.
And she's not obsessive about Tinder, because I can tell she posted 12 weeks ago, 17 weeks ago. She's posting like once a week.
Yeah.
So she's not totally, I'll give that a yay. Probably never hear from her, but this is, again, since a while I feel so bored. I could use getting to chat with some guy, simply pimping. Oh, ping me. Snapchat. Oh,
is this a bot?
Yeah, of course it is. This is
Okay.
okay,
I'm
real
getting
person.
better.
Here
I'm
we
getting
go.
better at
She
being able to
looks
recognize them.
Here we go. We've got someone who looks
Oh,
very nice.
I
She's
love it.
actually following, I'm gonna bet, all of your rules. There we go. Likes,
Oh, yes.
dislikes.
That's too much. You can't have rules like that. Just say what you like. You'll figure out what you don't like on dates. Just it's too much. It's not order a boyfriend. It's not
Well, it's
Yes.
Tinder, so
pick
it's
a
order
Build-A-Bear.
something.
It's true.
Tinder is not Build-A-Bear, folks.
Aw,
Get it
she looks
together.
very nice.
She looks adorable.
Yeah. Okay. So
She's being a little funny in her profile.
Katrina, get down. Come on.
Mhm.
I like her. I mean, that's somebody that's more
A real,
like regular city America. Like, oh, okay, this is who I see when I swipe through.
yes.
Yeah. Well,
Like being
we'll
in
give her
being
all.
in not a like metropolitan center, I don't have all of the like bots.
Right.
Like I
think-
hit the bottom of my deck every time I go through my swipes. Like there's just not that many options. And I would say like 2 of them are bots. Maybe like 10 of them are people who are just on there to post their own nudes. Like live your dream, swipe no for me.
Mhm.
Gosh. Okay, the cute dogs. English girl in New York. Boddington's definitely English.
She's got the Slipknot tee, so she's relatable.
I saw this Slipknot tee. I was very excited about that.
This
She's
is
a pretty
too
girl,
posed.
but she's down to earth.
This is
Mhm.
posed. This is
Yeah, I
so
don't believe
posed. She's got a Cadbury egg in one
but I don't
hand
believe it.
and a cup of coffee in front of her.
What is she drinking? And what's the can?
Boddington's. It's a blonde. It's like Guinness, only it's a blonde.
Mm.
So it's very thick. It's creamy. They're very tasty. They're great. They've got to calm down just like Guinness does.
Sounds delicious.
She's
I'd like
got.
to-
Why does she have a ring on that finger?
Good eye.
Mm. Is there any like poly?
It's like a bad modeling headshot. Like,
Yeah, I usually do much better than that when I'm photographing people.
or when you are being photographed. I'm just gonna say, Brandon knows how to be
There's
photographed.
Twitter shitter and there's Tinder hinder. Blondie is terrible.
He is.
Great.
That's why I married him.
You know. Okay. She has a kid.
that's a real person.
She's got children. She's not mentioning it, and she has no bio. And I gathered that because no.
Oh, there's a kid.
Adult
Is that a kid or is that an adult?
That's a backpack. It looks like.
I can't really see because I have
Something.
36
I don't know.
minutes.
This is literally me on Tinder. I'm like,
Tell me
what is
everything.
that? Why is that? What's going on? No.
Mm.
Oh dear.
What's happening here?
A mess.
There's so much darkness. Oh, that's a better photo.
And we're 600 miles away.
Oh, boo.
I like that. That's a great black and
That's
white.
a pretty photo.
That is a pretty photo.
I don't know. That's a mess. Quarantine
So
vampire
harsh.
at your service.
That's what happens
Watch
when
out.
somebody who's an avid photographer starts judging your Tinder profiles. This
is why I mean, this is even me at a bar. It's terrible. Oh, I love that shot. That's cool. Like I am all about using professional shots in a Tinder. I mean, I think you should definitely have a shot or two that's professional. Not just because I'm a photographer, but because I mean, have someone capture you so it looks like you.
Yeah, see, and that reads really like LinkedIn to me. When I'm swiping through, if somebody's got like too much overproduced, I'm like, where are you with your friends? Where are you with your dog? Like, I'm thinking of one person I matched with who was gorgeous and all of her photos were stunning. And I was like, yeah, but like when we went to coffee, you wore sweatpants. Like, what's happening here?
So it's like the mismatch though. Like, cause I could see like, having, like a mix of things, like one pro shot, a couple like selfies.
Like that one where she's got the leather skirt. It's badass. Love it.
Yeah.
But too many, I'm like, that's too many.
I'm actually
So how many
kind of
how many photos should someone have on their Tinder profile?
5 or 6.
Maximum 6.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, that's a lot. They let you have up to 10, I think. That's too many. I don't wanna see your whole life. Like, 4 to 6 is the sweet spot. 3 is like,
So
who doesn't have 3 photos of themselves?
I've got 5 up right now.
See?
5. That's a magic number. Let's see
And
Brandon's 5. Let's see Brandon's top 5. Come on.
those are, I mean, can I? No, that's just gonna make me delete. Preview. There we go. So
Handsome.
Ooh.
There's the smolder. Also the smolder. You're just good at the smolder. That's what I'm just gonna say,
I mean,
Brandon.
it's a combination. They're all pro shots because I mean I'm
'Cause
putting
that's what
as
you
my
do.
job I'm a creative director, so you know if
If you had shit photos, it would be a thing.
It would not look good.
no, it wouldn't. And it's not like I'm pimping out which type of car I'm driving, but like, you know, it's although I guess you could probably see from the reflections in the glasses, but yeah. And then very short and concise bio.
Mhm.
Now, does it work? No, not at all. Like, hey, but you know,
You gave it the old college try.
I gave it the whole college try. I mean, I'm actually getting more matches on all of them right now, but Bumble, no one's even writing back. Bumble's just a disaster. I can't even. Bumble is all bots.
The thing
I
So
don't think
Bumble, for the people who aren't, like, aware, like, if you're not super familiar, Bumble's the one that's, like, more female friendly, and
Yes.
that is so, like, women start the conversations, and women can never respond. So you can match, but if she doesn't start it, then it can't happen, which is why I think Bumble struggles, because a lot of us are conditioned to not message first.
well,
Yes.
and
So
this
if you're
Yes.
on Bumble and you like somebody, you better send that message. It is up to you.
and
Yes. Engage. Be brave.
this gets down to a lot of what we were talking about in the last episode, which is the centralization of sexual resources. So
Mm,
the problem is that
okay.
guys get on a site like this, get on Bumble,
Come on,
and
Brandon.
if you don't match enough, if you don't match at all, you get off Bumble. You'll be
Mhm.
gone. They probably don't have a lot of guys on this
Interesting.
because like quantity wise don't have guys on this because like I matched maybe 12 people last week and out of all of them there was two people who actually messaged back, who actually started the conversation,
Yep.
Mm.
and
Hmm.
one of they just drop. And none of these are hi bots. Bumble uses hey bots, which show up and they'll start a conversation by saying hey, and then won't even reply after you've replied to them. So clearly they're not real people.
Okay. Interesting.
Because, you know, if you're going to go to, like you just brought up, like if you're going to go to that extreme of actually starting the conversation, you're going to at least put a second sentence in there, if
Mhm.
At
not a
least try
third
a little
sentence.
bit.
Yes.
If you're going to try as much as to start a conversation on Bumble, then you're probably going to do a second or third sentence and actually have a conversation like I did with both of those young women. Who knows, you know?
I mean, fair.
Yeah. And we're all on lockdown right now, so someone could be in the hospital. I mean, at this point they won't expire. So,
Yep.
um
So,
yeah.
like, it seems that, at least from a lot of the folks I talk to, it seems that every dating site, Tinder, Bumble, Her, what have you, is pretty regionally based. Like, the popularity of each site is regionally based. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt.
like,
Yeah.
Brandon in New York, what seems to be so far popular?
It depends. I mean, I hear from totally different people. I think it's split up between different ages, and I think
Mhm.
things kind of burn out really fast. So I think Tinder's kind of burned out, and I'm likely not the only person that's come to the same conclusion about those sites in New York. Really, if you want to meet people, you've got to use the league.
The League. Okay.
Yeah. So the
That's
league, it's
really
not really about the matching feature on the league. The beauty with the league is they give you three a day that you can match with, but they have groups. And once you join these groups, you end up in, and let me see, because it's so small on my screen. No, that's my concierge. That's that. Come on, so small on the screen. Once you join the groups, you end up in these completely humongous chats, and side WhatsApps start. So I have a buddy who started a brunch group that's like 200 strong.
Shit, I had to get close.
And so like brunch lovers, they end up meeting up for brunch and things. And so
Oh,
the league really, what's so good about it is the groups.
Okay.
You're probably more likely going to meet someone if you meet them in person on one of the groups than you are by matching anyone.
That I mean that makes a ton of sense to me. We talked about last time. Social psychologists say that we'll end up with somebody that's within a quarter-mile radius of what we do in a given day. Obviously, COVID is interrupting that in a big way.
Yeah.
But Katrina, like I know you're in Washington State, and Washington State kind of has its own cultural difference between eastern part of the state and the western side of the state. So, what's popular in your area as far as apps go?
So I grew up in Seattle, and that's like more my culture. And so Hinge was great. Every time I go over to the west side to hang out with family, I just reopen everything because it's like a deluge of likes, and it really stokes my ego. But Hinge is really popular right now. Over here in Spokane, it's such a small town that I've noticed a lot of people are using older, like Plenty of Fish and OkCupid.
Interesting.
But you notice a really big stratification of like SES and seriousness, and hookup culture is Tinder all the way. Hinge and Bumble are a little bit more like we'll see what happens. It's really tough because like age groups makes a big difference, and your friend group makes a big difference. Because I'm in such a small town, everybody knows everybody. It's like not even like 1 degree. It's like usually, oh, I've met you at a party before. So dating apps are very much like, oh, I've already gone out with them. Oh, they dated my ex. Oh, we went to high school together. It's kind of a crapshoot. Bigger cities, for sure, they're more useful.
Yes.
In those situations, Tinder with the passport feature. So once you do pay for Tinder, and it's not too bad, you can.
How much are these sites?
I want to say Tinder's like $60 for 6 months or something.
That ain't bad. That ain't bad.
That's not bad at all.
League has 2 different things. League members are given a certain number of VIP endorsements. And so there's like 1 or 2 friends that I've endorsed in on there. Otherwise, if you start paying for the league, it's like $400 a month.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I just made a profile on the league, and it's free.
Yeah. So it's free, but you're going to be waiting in line.
Got you.
So what it's telling you right now is that you're in line with people near you, and there's probably 20 to 30,000 people in line.
Oh,
and
so
when I send in
like socioeconomic.
So if I endorse someone, they then move up to the front of the chain, and they usually get in within 24 to 48 hours. Yeah. So, and then at that point that you're in, the best place to be is really joining those groups every day at 5 o'clock. They call it happy hour. You're given 3 new matches to look at. And then, if they give you a certain number of tickets to use, and you can buy tickets to get more matches or for someone to see your profile sooner. If you select the ticket button but don't add the ticket to it, you can see how many weeks you've got to wait for that person. So like if I were to go to the league right now and say I'm on matches, those are the wonderful people I'm talking to. Let's see here. Let's say Caroline. Okay. So Caroline's profile, I decide, yeah, she's, seems great, loves dogs, wonderful.
Seems like a real profile.
And it's like the LinkedIn of dating, because you get all the LinkedIn information. Say I like, okay, wonderful. Well, now you can go do a power move. Well, 12 people have hearted her before me. It could take 3 days for her to see my profile unless I use a power move and I move up. And that's wild that it's only going to be 3 days, because sometimes it's like, it's going to be 12 weeks. So
What?
Um,
What's the time
yeah,
based on?
This like economy of personhood makes me super upset for like a number of reasons.
Oh, like this. Well,
there
and
you
the
go. 41 people hearted Danielle. It's going to be 9 days for her to see my profile unless I give tickets.
and the crazy thing to me is this is set up similarly to like some of these fan sites, but the people who
Mhm.
are involved are paying for this rather than getting paid to do this.
If I'm gonna put in this much work, definitely want to get paid. Like an
No shit.
OnlyFans is gonna be way more return on my investment than this.
Yeah.
Yes. That just seems like so much like that you are going to put out so much potential money or tickets. Like
Time.
they've figured out microtransactions for dating. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, they definitely have. But like as I was saying, like Tinder, Tinder and Bumble, I think are about the same cost. I think it's like 120 for the year or something. They figure it's like $10, $15 a month or something.
And if you are
And
serious about dating, paying for them is worth it because you can
yeah,
filter out. You can look at who already liked you. It's if you actually like want to date or you're very connoisseur with your choices, $10 a month is nothing.
Right. And I tell people who are interested in if they are truly looking to date to result in potentially a monogamous or monogamish relationship, regardless of what that want is, that you need to treat it as much as as much effort as you would treat getting a job. You spend a lot of time investing in looking at your own resume, looking at companies' websites, looking at their values, their mission statement, and all of these things. Yet we're not willing to spend that much time on the creation of someone we might want to spend a lot of time with or a good chunk of our lives with. So it's okay to treat it like you would treating getting a job.
Hmm. Well, I
yeah.
mean, it's an investment. You know, if it's a hookup, who cares? So you
Right.
meet whoever, you have a nice time. But if you actually want to build something, then paying for a dating app, well, even if you want to go like the Match.com route,
Mhm.
investing a little bit, then it's like other people have at least bought in the amount that you have, more than putting their thumbprint to download an app.
So here's the tricky question, and maybe our last question because it's 9:07 and I'm fading
It's
fast.
bedtime.
I'm a wuss. Uh, if you've ever met anybody offline, how did you do it?
Public.
Always.
Always in public. And by public I mean a lot of other people around. And I always suggest that, like, do Starbucks, do something with other people, do a place with windows so
Mhm.
that, if you walk up, the person's already there. If I was a woman, this is how I do it. I would pick a place with windows and I would say, oh, yeah, just grab a seat near the window so that when I walked by, I could see the person already in there
Mhm.
and from a distance, see if it was who it was. Because honestly, there are so many catfishes.
Mm.
There are so many people who use pictures that are not their own that you need to have your security first and foremost on all of this stuff.
Always. Yeah, safety first, public place. Even if
Yeah.
you are part of that like hookup culture, do not go to someone's house. Like meet
Mm.
them for a drink at a busy bar.
Yeah.
Tell your friends where you are. Like tell your friends, "Hey, this is Gary and I'm going to go to his place. This is the address he gave me." Safety is always going to be your first. And even if you have met somebody 2, 3 times, you don't know somebody after 3 dates.
Nope.
Safety first.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Safety first. I think that's the best thing that we can be offering people. Vet what you can and create boundaries always.
And if you can't vet, it's a big red flag.
Yep.
If
Yes.
someone is not to be found, if they don't exist, if they don't exist, then this is not who they say they are.
Yes. Move on. Move
Yeah.
on.
Especially for female identifying folks, it's really critical that you're aware of your space, you're aware of your surroundings, who's around you, and we all know that. We grow up knowing that. But online dating can give us a false sense of like, oh, I've chatted with them for 2 weeks on Tinder. No, you don't know them.
No,
Trust
you
no
don't.
bitch.
And especially right now when someone could have the corona.
Exactly.
I one of my classmates today made a great point. Like, dick is not worth it right now. You can wait. You can wait. At least try waiting.
Put in an order to some of our favorite sex shops. I'm just thinking and absolutely losing myself in my thinking. Let's see here. The what is it? The pleasure.
The pleasure chest.
The pleasure chest. Yep, that one. Completely sex positive. Wonderful, wonderful place. I mean, you can always go to Adam and Eve and get some discounts. And usually they send you free shit when you order from them for the first time. You can always get anything you need for all of the self-love that you might need to do if you are struggling. It's not worth your safety to compromise that.
No.
Or we can go old school, take it back to phone sex, cyber sex.
Yes.
Have some fun, explore.
No, it's so old it's new again. All the young kids are doing it with Snapchat. All these 25-year-olds on Snapchat. Look at us, we discovered cyber sex. No, come on.
Nope.
We were doing that in bulletin boards before you were even thought of.
I was gonna say chat rooms. AIM. Let's get some AIM.
Some AOL Instant Messenger. Oh, I shed a tear when that died. So much of my college years. Hey, what's your screen name? Oh, my screen name is oh wow. I have 50 screen names of people. Yeah.
I think my screen name back then had something to do with Harry Potter. It was Firebolt something. Because that was the type of broom that Harry.
I keep forgetting that I'm older than you.
Always. You're not that much older than me.
I am the Harry Potter older than you because Harry Potter, literally only one person in my graduating class read it. I'm still friends with her, but that's it. Like, it was not a thing.
Interesting, because we were in high school, we were the class that got Harry Potter banned in English honors because we had to read so many pages a month to stay English honors, whatever it was. And so Harry Potter books were great because they were long. And so we all got into them because of that. And Dr. Ravenscroft, shout out. Shout out to Dr. Ravenscroft.
Oh my gosh.
Who made us my essay writing skills are what they are because of that man. I hated him at the time. He made me write a 5-paragraph essay in 30 minutes, but that served me well in high school or in college. Served me well in college.
The skills that you're glad you pick up and keep forever, like algebra.
No writing intensive for me. Thank you very much. I got out of every single one of them. Goodbye. Extra ballet.
Let me play something else. So, Katrina, thank you so much for being with us.
No, thank you. I've had so much fun.
Y'all, any of the questions that you might have, drop them in the comments. We will all eventually try to get to them if we did not get them to tonight, because my husband was just
flaming it up,
flaming us in the comments this time around. So again, thank you to my intrepid co-host Brandon, and you all have a wonderful week. Swipe safely. I'm gonna put that up. Put that up on the screen one more time. That beautiful.
Oh gosh!
Look at, oh my God! Screenception.
So many layers.
Gosh.
So much screenception. Last time, swipe safely.
I am not paying her student loans. That's not happening.
Stay home, even if the president tells you can get out. No, stay home. Listen to
And if you want to pay student loans, you know who to call.
Mm-hmm.
She has a Tiger King tattoo.
Full circle.
Thanks for bringing us around, man. All right, y'all. Have a great evening, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.